Hi. I don't know why this never gets old, these filters. Let's try another one. There you go. It's a crown. All right. How do I revert back to no... Wait, hold on. Oh! Okay, I'm totally doing it with this filter. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys can take me seriously with this amazing filter here. I want to talk to you guys about 5 important clauses to place in your contract. I might actually get rid of this because I can't even focus with this filter on. All right, I'm sitting in my car, so let me just turn my window down because it's a little bit freaking hot here. All right. Okay, so 5 important clauses that you need to be putting inside of the contract that you have in place for when you're working with Facebook ad clients, i.e. you are the agency or the Facebook marketer and you're delivering a service of Facebook advertising or funnel building. Oh! Shit. Fuck, that scared me. All right, that was my radio. It just came on. So these are specific to Facebook, actually, so not necessarily social media or just funnel builds. So, and these will trip people up time and time again if you don't add these in your contracts. Number 1, as you guys know, part of the algorithm, part of what goes into the auction process on how Facebook decides whether or not your ads are going to be shown to what we call an A-class audience, so a high-intent audience, a high-quality audience, someone that's likely to convert, versus a B-class or C-class, who knows how low it goes, but audience, and you would have seen this in your campaigns before. You get clicks, but nothing happens type of stuff. So part of what goes into that determination is the relevancy and ad quality, right? That's part of the equation. You've got your bidding, your ad relevance, your relevancy and ad quality, and then you also have your, what is that? How do I... Okay, sorry, I got distracted there. It was giving me a weird notification. So part of that auction process considers relevancy and ad quality. Now, part of the relevancy includes the ad account quality score. So this is an internal metric that Facebook has on your ad account that you can't see. So you can't see this. However, it will impact the power of your ads or how well you perform in the auction process. For example, if you have really high negative feedback and it's not being balanced out by positive feedback, that ad account is probably going to get shut down. It's not going to have a very good quality score. So when Facebook does those busts, which it's been doing for the last sort of month or two, the ad account would probably get shut down. Another thing that goes into that is, are your payments getting bounced all the time? It's just like anything else in life. No one likes to have to chase after payments, right? So if you have a client and their credit card keeps bouncing 3 times a month, guess what? It's going to really fuck up that ad account. Trust me. We worked on an account where we were spending about $200K a month, and it kept happening almost every 3 days. Everything tanked just like that. It tanked, and it was really hard to get anything back in that ad account. So I would have a clause inside of the contract that stipulates there needs to be a backup credit card in place, and that if the client does not resolve payment issues within, normally that's 48 hours, within 48 hours of being notified, that the fee will revert to a different fee, or this is especially true if you're working off revenue share or what we call performance based, because it's really going to hurt you, right? If there's things outside of your control, like the client's credit card getting bounced, that ultimately impacts the results that you get from the ads, you're going to get screwed over if you're on a cut of revenue or performance-based model. So it's really important to stipulate, hey, look, if you don't resolve this within 48 hours, or if it happens, over 3 times in 1 month, and there's no backup credit card in place, then we revert to a retainer fee, because it's too much risk for us to take that on. And it's outside of our control, right? Your credit card is outside of our control. Second thing that's really important to include and stipulate within a contract is community management. Who is doing that, right? Who is managing the comments on an ad? Super important. Comments on an ad can make or break a campaign. They can make or break a creative, right? If you have a lot of trolls going on an ad commenting, this is a scam, or I hated this product, obviously it's going to really hurt sales. So someone needs to be monitoring ad creative. Is it going to be you? Are you charging for that? Make sure you charge for that. Or is it the client? It's really important that you clarify that from the get-go. This is one of those things that most Facebook marketers tend to forget. And it only really comes up when shit goes down and the client goes, oh, I thought you guys were monitoring that. And then it just looks bad all around. So make sure that you add that in there. Third clause that I would add in there is pausing activities, right? This stumps a lot of people up. Maybe you've onboarded a client on for 6 months contract, a 12-month contract, a 3-month contract, which is the norm. What are going to be the terms around if the client says, hey, look, we've run out of stock, or we need to pause everything for like a month or 2 because something internal is happening? You need to stipulate what the terms are inside of the contract. How long can they pause for before they get a penalty fee? Are they allowed to pause? Typically, we would allow clients to pause for at least a month because life happens, and you want to keep that relationship going. And then outside of that, there would be a penalty fee. So make sure that you include that within your contracts. You're stipulating what happens if the client decides to pause. All right, for those of you that are also working off performance-based model or revenue share, another important clause to put into your contract, so important, guys, so important, this one, is attribution windows and, attribution of conversions, and also the window, the time frame of that. Meaning, let's say you're taking a cut of revenue. So you've onboarded a client, you're taking 10% of the revenue that you're generating. Where are you going to calculate where that revenue comes from? Is it from Shopify, or is it from the Facebook ads dashboard? Because they're going to give you different figures, right? Because Shopify takes into account refund requests, Facebook does not. So you need to be very clear with your client which dashboard you're looking at, both of you, so that your client, you're not reporting off Facebook and then your client is going like, no, it was actually lower than that. Well, no, we agreed that we would go off of the Facebook dashboard. This is what Facebook says, right? Granted, all the tracking and pixels are correct. The second part of that is the attribution window of that. So one of the things that you guys all know as Facebook marketers is Facebook can track up to 28 days. So it will attribute conversions to a specific campaign and ad for a period of up to 28 days. Beyond that, you need to set up offline event tracking. What this means is that if you're running performance-based for a client or revenue share for a client, and the end of the month comes around and you go, oh man, I got you X amount of sales, that number actually might even double if you give it another 2 to 3 weeks, right? Because the attribution windows are 28 days. So you as an agency or as a freelancer need to make a call on what is our attribution window going to be. Typically what we would do is about 7 days. So 7 days into the month is when we would bill for the performance-based or revenue-based component of, fuck, it's hot in here, of like sweating, of a campaign. So that one's really, really important. The other thing is, for those of you doing performance-based or revenue share, you must stipulate a minimum advertising spend required, okay? This one is really important because it's almost like pausing, but it's even worse. So at least when a client says, I want to pause, you pause, right? You put things on pause, which can fuck you up even more, like putting campaigns on pause. But The almost worse than that is when clients go from like spending, they're like, yeah, we're going to spend $20K a month. And you're like, sweet, my fee is going to be like $6,000 or $7,000 from that. That works. I'm happy to come on board as your partner. But then they decide they're only going to commit $1,000 in ad spend, and you're going to make like $700 or something like that, which is not worth it, right? So you really need to be super clear on what is the minimum spend required on campaigns, and what happens, or normally what you say is if they dip below that, or if they commit less than that, it will revert into a retainer fee. So 5 clauses that you should have inside of your contracts, guys. Payments bouncing. So stipulate what happens if their card keeps bouncing, because it's going to fuck up your results. Community management. Who is responsible for managing comments on the ads? Who's monitoring that? The client or you? Attribution and windows, especially if you're on performance-based, and revenue share. Which dashboard are you going off of, and how long are you allowing attribution to your campaigns? Pausing campaigns. How long can clients pause campaigns in good grace? And then what happens if they go beyond that? That one's really important, because you don't want a client to sign up for like 6 months and then in month 2 go like, hey, we need to pause, and then they pause for like 12 months, right? That doesn't work. And then a minimum spend, especially for those of you that are, well, this one pretty much only applies for those of you that are on rev share or performance based, or the agency pricing model where you're taking a cut of the ad spend. If you're on a retainer, this one doesn't apply. These are the 5 most common clauses I see trip agency owners and Facebook marketers up. Super important to get those in the contracts. I just want to also do a bit of a disclaimer here. I am not a lawyer. My business is based in New Zealand. Please make sure that whatever clauses you add in your contract or whatever you draft up, that you do get a professional, you get professional legal advice for this, and make sure that it's actually legal wherever you are living in the world, all right? I don't want to get anyone in trouble, so that's my disclaimer. I'm giving you some advice, but please get a lawyer to double check this shit. Super important. It'll be worth a lot of money down the line if things ever happen with a client. All right, guys, hopefully this helps. I can't see your comments. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I see them now. Dante, Craig, Miles, Lacey, what's up? Hey, Stan, Shane, Travis. Oh, man, full house. Cool. All right, guys, so hopefully this helped. I'm off. I'm going to go inside of the Rapid Fire Mindset group right now and talk a little bit about sex and exercise. So if you're down for that kind of live, request to join the Rapid Fire Empire Mindset Challenge, and I'll see you guys in there. Bye, guys. Have a great one.